create a client for life? It's a really good question to think about. Excited to dive into this today with you guys here on PE TV. But first things first, make sure that you tap the bell below and you subscribe so you never miss an episode or the opportunity to learn simple sales strategies to take your leads from cold to close and finally master sales online. My name is Keaney. I'm a sales ninja and marketing mentor for high-achieving female coaches and VAs who want to ditch hustle and have a six-figure scale in their online businesses by mastering their sales skills. So today, a question that I get asked quite often is, how do you bring in a client that's going to stick around and stay with you, right? Like, how do you create programs and offers that are going to have your client wanting to continue to work with you, right? A lot of people in today's industry, in today's online market, especially like the coaching and the VA space, we see a lot of clients fall off pretty rapidly and quite consistently, right? They come into your offer, or your program, or your services, and they're with you for a little while. Maybe it's a quick project. Maybe it's for a few weeks or a few months, and then they fall off, and that's kind of it. It's kind of the end of your journey, right? We see this a lot. We see this happening quite often, and a lot of people are asking us, what do you do to have that client kind of stay around a little bit longer? What does it mean to you to have a client for life? So let me talk about this. There's a couple of things. Number one, I think it's important to have an ascension plan. So an ascension plan is looking at, here's what we're doing with our client, but what's next? Right? Like, one program is not going to be the end all be all for your client. It's not going to be everything that you can do with them. So you might have them start at a certain place, you get to a certain point with them, but then what's next? Do they stay and renew in that program and you continue your journey together? Or do you have another program and this is their next step? And that's what you're going to move them into. So being strategic and a little intentional with sitting down and really looking at your offer funnel, your offer suite, and really looking at what is the process and the journey that you want to take your clients through while staying in your zone of genius, right? So you want to look at designing and structuring an ascension plan, a way for clients to stay on with you longer and continue their experience. So for an example, inside of my program, it's a 12-month program. My clients come in for 1 to 3 years with me, maybe even longer. The way that it's designed and the way it's customized and what I offer in that program allows my client to be able to renew and stay with me longer versus just coming in and getting a quick little thing and then they're out, right? It's going to be really hard for you to scale, have sustainable, predictable revenue in your business if your clients come in and then they fall off, and then they come in and then they fall off. And you're constantly having to launch and you're constantly having to chase other clients down to continue to just replace the ones that you're losing, right? You want your clients to stick around longer and be what I call a client for life. So there's a few things when it comes to this, right? Number one, you've got to have an ascension plan. You need to have a next step, and you should, as the expert, be thinking ahead for your clients, right? I'm always thinking about a year or so ahead for my clients. Like, I'm looking at, here's where they are right now, and this is what they're focused on, but I'm thinking about this for them in the next year, 6 months to a year, right? Like, I'm already thinking ahead for them so that I can present them with what's next before they do, right? Like, sometimes I hear that people will go to their client and say, hey, I have this beautiful idea. We can continue working together. I have these ideas and I was thinking about this. And then your client comes back and says, yeah, you know what? I kind of already invested in this other thing because I'm going in this direction. And you were behind the wagon on that a little bit, right? You actually want to be ahead of the horse, and you want to actually know what is going to be the next thing for my client 6 months to a year from now. And you want to know that before they start thinking about that. That's the way that you can really design a nice offer suite and a good ascension plan where you can go present that to them, and they are really going to appreciate that you're actually thinking bigger and ahead of them before they even get to it. So that's going to keep them wanting to stay with you as a lifer. All right, the second thing is you've got to create and design an exceptional experience inside of your programs. So this is the other thing, is a lot of people, for these two reasons, do not renew with you and stay with you. Is number one, you don't have a way for them to stay with you. You didn't offer them a way to renew. You didn't offer them a next step, right? So that's obvious that they wouldn't be doing that. They're going to move on, right? Because you didn't come to them ahead of time and start talking about that before it got to that point. But the second thing is they haven't had a good experience. So if your clients don't have a good experience inside of your program, inside of your offer or services, and you guys aren't accomplishing some of their milestones, and it's just not a good experience for whatever reason, obviously they're not going to want to continue that experience. They're not going to want to renew with you. So what I want you guys doing is really looking at how your program is designed, how your offer is designed and structured. What could you do differently? Where is there room for improvement? What could you tweak or change that would give an exceptional experience for your clients, where they would be like wanting to spend more time with you, wanting to renew and continue the journey? They're having so much fun, they can't imagine that you're not part of that journey with them. And so they're really looking at renewing and staying with you and being with you longer term, right? So those are the top 2 things I want you guys thinking about to create a client for life. Number 1, do you have an ascension plan? What does it look like? Is it that next step? Are you thinking ahead for your clients like 6 months to a year? And are you presenting that long before they're thinking about it? That's the first step. The second thing is create and design an exceptional experience within your programs so that the journey to where they're going is so much fun that they can't imagine you not being in their life. Okay? I hope this was helpful. I want to hear your takeaways. So, share, comment below. Let us know. We definitely want to hear your takeaways, your questions. What do you think about this? What do you have in place, or what are you going to put in place? We want to hear from you. I'll see you on another PE TV episode.